It's on her card deck, so I should just win, right?
Yeah. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. We're back with some more Lackey Grand Prix gameplay, now into round 2 of Lackey Grand Prix 24. This week against Josh, Kevinthedude, Potratz. And I'm going to be trying out something a little wild here, a little off the wall, but I was like, you know what? I gotta give it a shot. There's been a lot of talk about 100 card decks recently, and I I'm not really sure where I land on things completely. Kind of tentatively, my stance right now is that the format of Type 1 would be better if it was just a completely singleton format, regardless of deck size. I think that right now there are actually enough benefits to playing a larger deck size for more dominance, more defense. Like Type 1 is more balanced than it has been in recent years, I think, in general. Like, balanced in the sense of, there's more defense being played. It's not just like boom, 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 3 turns, I win. But you can actually get blocks. You've got add to battles. You got dominance. You got ways to restrict dominance, or just, to stop your opponent from just getting a dominant rescue every turn and winning the game that way. So I think the gears are shifting a little bit to the point where playing a bigger deck isn't all that crazy. You're not just like rushing to get to your dominance all the time. You still should, or getting, I guess, specifically getting to Son of God and Second Coming. Like, you should still have some consistency pieces built in to get to those, and that's something that you might see as a little bit of a weakness of this deck, and I recognize that. It's not too big of a deal to me for this deck in particular. Like, I would not expect this deck to necessarily be competitive in the 100 card format, but anyway, if you're thinking about building a 100 card deck, it's something to keep in mind, consistency, and then also making sure you get to your free rescues, because those are still going to be big, make a huge difference here. But anyway, as the format has kind of become more balanced, games are maybe going a little bit longer, then actually having more resources and kind of just being able to outlast your opponent in a sense, kind of having more access, having enough consistency, I think can be a big enough benefit by itself, that the availability of having more than one copy of certain cards, particularly multi-brigade characters, single brigade characters and enhancements and artifacts, having the ability to use more than one copy of those, I think makes them almost a little bit too consistent. And it's a little bit of a, I'm kind of wanting to, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to kind of clarify, or nuance it a little bit. I don't, that's not the exact word I'm looking for, but basically just like not jump into it too quickly and say like, oh, this is a big problem, just because, personally, I don't find them super fun to play against. And even playing with them, I haven't done a whole lot of. That's actually part of why I'm doing this now. But playing against them, there's a little bit of fun in the sense of like, okay, I'm playing a little bit of a different game here because I need to kind of, think about the game differently, or kind of approach things differently. Like, I might have to be more aggressive early on because I know if the game goes on for a long time, then I'm not going to have a shot. So if I'm playing a 50 card deck against a 100 card deck, I need to be pretty much as aggressive as possible, because the longer the game goes, the less likely it is for me to win. I played against two of the 3 100 card decks that were represented at Nationals this year, and against him, he got off to a really quick and early start. So it was actually a little bit of the other way around, but it still got to that point where, he got to 3, I think, and then I was able to hold him off from getting to his free ones. So, that's why that's important. Tim definitely had plenty of ways to get there, but I mean, that's just going to happen occasionally when you've got so many cards, is that you might not get to the dominance that you need early on. So he got 3 rescues. I was able to establish a little bit of defense, hold him off, and then kind of creep my way back in. But if the game had gone on too much longer, like if I wasn't able to kind of poke through and be aggressive enough, then he would have just found a way to either get to his doms or to draw into them somehow and win that game. We ended up timing out, I believe, and I think I just got to 4, so I think it was 4-3. And then in my game against Brian, he was playing a similar version of the deck to Tim, but a little more like Soulhide focused, and some of the or like black Canaanite Philistine splash stuff in there, and that was kind of a similar game in that Brian got off to a quick start, except I wasn't able to handle that one as easily. I didn't really have a great chance in that game. There was, toward the end, I made a misplay that maybe could have won me the game. I don't think it would have been guaranteed, but it definitely would have put things a little further into my favor than they already weren't. But anyway, it would have given me the chance there if I hadn't made that misplay. But for the most part, Brian was kind of in control of the game there. Like once, or kind of as the game went on, he was kind of more firmly establishing control, even though I was able to kind of manage his defense a little bit in the beginning, but just once he kind of got one big turn, then it's like, well, now I'm kind of stuck. He's got the resources he needs, and if I had another turn, maybe, but it's hard to say, and honestly, I don't even remember a lot of the details by now. He's probably thinking in his head like, what are you talking about? The game was completely different than what you're saying. But anyway, the point is, when you're playing against 100 card decks like this that just have a lot more options and resources, even though they might not naturally draw into the right cards and resources, there's enough consistency pieces available in the game that you can usually get to whatever it is that you need at the time. And so having those things available can make a big difference. And one of the things that, I guess you can do to combat that a little bit is to restrict some of the things your opponent can do, or, we shouldn't say restrict because that's a key word in the game, but to try to prevent your opponent, that's a word too, whatever. Try to stop your opponent from being able to use those searches and those speed cards, but there's also a lot of kind of counters now available. Cards like Lost Child Found and Teaching in Parables that they can negate or turn off something, kind of make a window to turn off something like a Nazareth if you were to get that early, and then sort of explode in one turn. Have it one really big turn. And so that, I think, kind of characterizes a lot of the potential that 100 card decks have right now. And with that being said, because it's such a different game, I think it makes it harder to play 50 card decks, or at least a large majority of 50 card decks. Some that are maybe more geared toward fighting against a 100 card deck strategy might still be good in the meta if 100 card decks become popular enough, but they'll kind of be a little more vulnerable to smaller 50 card decks. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that kind of creates a little bit of a rock paper scissors meta, which is always good to have. Kind of this beats that beats this. But I think it is skewed in the favor of 100 card decks because of the duplicates rule. So it does make it harder to see it working out in a way that's positive or healthy. But I don't want to just kind of force that judgment on it at this point. I think it's kind of early to say anything or change anything definitively. So I did want to get a little more personal experience and data on it. And what better way to do it than to start out with big posties? Am I right? I was like, if I'm going to build a 100 card deck, that's kind of my own. I want to do it with something that I will enjoy playing and see if I can kind of piece it together in a way that's fun and also shows a little bit of the power of 100 card decks. So, being that the deck is so big, I'm not going to go over too much of all the details of why I included certain cards and everything. So I'll kind of go over it from a cursory standpoint. And plus, if you guys watch the channel, you've seen a lot of posties anyway. I guess maybe not with some of the new stuff like Zechariah and some of his buddies that we just got in the new set, but yeah, you'll see it eventually here. I'll go into a little more detail in explaining those things, but it also, being in a 100 card deck means that you can add in some of the kind of newer, or I guess lesser used elements that I would like to have available for posties. That they're ones that are part of the Type 2 decks that I've built, but might not necessarily have. I might not have space for in a Type 1 deck. So cards like Baruch, even Jaden, seeing him in a Type 1 deck is not too common these days. Deborah's in here for the whole judge's seat looping, having another judge to go with Joshua for judge's seat, and Haggai, who can get it back from discard pile with a Persian in play. And then Jehoshaphat to do some bouncing. We got the new Jadua in here, so that's another reason that I've wanted to play posties. Pretty excited about this guy. He seems pretty good, kind of like a Meshach in the Daniel band, except he doesn't protect hands, which actually is kind of nice for when you're attacking, because otherwise cards like Entrapping Pharisees or Emperor Domitian, those kind of effects, Prince of Persia, I guess would be another one. If you're protecting your hand, then you can't do the instead portion from those characters with Jadua. So, or because of Meshach, I guess, not Jadua, who's not protecting hands, just decks and reserves. And that's a little more important. The things where it does kind of backfire is if your opponent has something like confusion to discard from your hand. But there's really not a lot of evil cards that target your hand in a negative way. Most of them are like, Lying Prophet or Damsel, just looking at your hand to draw cards, and that's, it's not great, but it's not like something that's you're preventing yourself from being able to do, like the instead abilities there. I guess Perfidy is another hand attack evil card now, but anyway, Jadua, pretty good ability here, and then with the protection, and then also a little bit of drawing and banishing on top of that. I'll notice he also says X cards, so he can banish good cards. So, I'm a little conflicted about, making an announcement about this or pointing this out, but if you're playing against a postie deck, be careful if your Son of God ends up in your discard pile and you haven't played Second Coming yet. So, watch out for that. But anyway, most of the other posties here are pretty regular attendees or inclusions for Type 1 postie decks. Eliezer has been kind of in and out for me recently. Baton's usually in reserve, but yeah, when you got 100 cards to work with, we got the whole gang in the main deck here. And then we've got a couple of Angel of the Winds and Defender of the Saints to help get to who we need. Defender mostly is going to be going to Zechariah, get that CBN protection from harm. That's always great, but you can also go to Ezra or Jeshua, get the banding chain started, or you could just go to Jadua if you've got Defender at the end of a band after Haggai bands to him or something. So that I thought was pretty cool. And then Patrollers can also, and Surveying Spirit can also go on the end of a band and get some good value there. And that is pretty much the main things to mention from the offense. We got Buckler and Redemption to help out with some speed here. So dominant selection seems pretty straightforward. Even with 100 cards, it is kind of tough to select which dominance. Like you'll notice I don't have Falling Away in here. That seems like it would be a good one. to include Harvest Time as another one that you might see in a lot of 100-card decks, just because having all of these lost souls that you can pull out with great abilities like Dull and Disoriented, Distressed, Crowds, Color Guard, Forsaken, Humble. It's, a lot of these are ones that you want to be able to have out early and have their effects rolling. So that's another one that I might try to squeeze in if I were, if I were to kind of improve this deck. That might be something I would go toward, but I figured, I don't know, maybe either Buckler or Redemption would be good options. But I do like Redemption in here because most of the posties are dual brigade, and so having ways to get them back from discard pile is pretty good because I'd only have one copy. So if I lose a copy early on, it's not that big of a deal. I can get it back later with Redemption. Don't have to count on getting lucky with the star ability on Matan. Malachi is also nice for getting back some of these guys like Zerubul and Akeem and any of the star ability ones. So anyway, I mentioned Lost Souls, the Dominance. We got Exiles in here because 100 cards, you're less likely to draw it on turn 1. Same thing with Remnant. So I figured those were worth a shot. Again, getting back and teaching Imparables off of Exiles is pretty sweet, especially with Jeshua and play to draw it right away. So things like that just seem like be good. Getting back Solomon's Dream is also nice in a deck like this where you want to be able to find those good cards, especially those Dominance, Son of God, and Second Coming. As I mentioned before, not a whole lot of enhancements here. Most of the offense is just built around putting out a bunch of dudes, attacking their hand, and attacking their evil characters in territory, and pushing through with an Amazing Faith, or just a couple of very specific attacks, I guess, or like angles that you're going to kind of gear based on what your opponent has and what you've seen in their hand between 20 shekels and the other hand attack options that you have, teaching Imparables, that kind of stuff. So that is pretty much the offense. Paired with that is a little bit of a Persian defense, but I also wanted to shift from being like straight Persians to having a Prince of the Air splash in here, just because I felt like Persians were a little bit lacking. I think in a 100-card deck they could be fine, but in like kind of a smaller 50-card versions, I felt like they've struggled a little bit, where it's like when you just got one copy of Haman, he usually gets a dominant played against him, and then you're missing out on that, missing out on the value from Haman's plot, and also just the characters don't always do enough when they come into battle. Haman and Prince of Persia are both very strong and can have can win battles by themselves. Like Haman's negate characters is great, turning off a lot of those hero abilities like Daniel and the other protection heroes like Meshach, shutting down a lot of bans like in Joshua is good. So the negate characters here is pretty significant, and then also the tutor is good to get an enhancement that you need. But since he usually gets blown out by a dominant or something, having a deck where you can run 2 of him is pretty nice. We've got Satraps and Deceivers and Malachite Slave in here, all to get to Haman. Or Darius's Satraps can also go to Prince of Persia. We got a couple copies of Trusted Politicians to stop the choose the blocker shenanigans. And Queen Vashti is kind of nice because you can go Satraps or one of the other tutors, but you can go Satraps to Vashti because she's Persian, so that kind of opens up that as another tutor. And then Vashti can ban to an evil OT female, which Judean Mediums is female, so then you can do Mediums to Prince of the Air. So you could even do Prince of Persia to Vashti to Mediums to Prince of the Air. Seems pretty good. Lots of princely things going on. Lots of CBN shenanigans. So that I thought was worth trying out. Plus also Perplexing Vision works well with the Persian stuff, but it also works well with Judean Mediums and Prince, because you can use Perplexing Vision to add Judean Mediums to battle. You could also use it to add Prince of Persia to battle. No, it has to be a human. Never mind. You could add Darius' Satraps to battle, who could exchange to Prince, who can ban to Vashti, and then Mediums, and then ban to Prince of the Air. And then Prince of the Air, because Perplexing Vision is still technically in play at the time that his ability resolves, means that you can underdeck Perplexing Vision with Prince of the Air as one of the X cards that you are underdecking. And so then you can use Perplexing Vision over and over again. That's why Balaam's in here, because he can just go and fetch Perplexing Vision. So it's pretty good if you can get it all set up. There's a lot of pieces to it, but with all the duplicates and stuff that we have in here, I think it's doable. But yeah, that's why we're testing it out, seeing if it's enough defense. And then I just kind of picked the best of the best enhancements. I feel like you don't need a lot of evil enhancements here. I've got 2 Haemon's Plots and 2 Haemon's Boastings that Haemon can all go look for. Honor Thy Enemy also is in that group. And then we just have a few other kind of random ones that are pretty good, like Falsified Claims, Read the Whirlwind, and Double Descent Against Moses, just because a CBN negate with the upside of also activating a curse is kind of nice. And then it's pretty easy to get Perfidy and Torn Kingdom from reserve, so I didn't think that there was too much else needed other than that. You might also notice I pointed out Color Guard is in here earlier. That could come out, but I was like, it's still good enough. Like, if I don't have Prince and mediums, like, it's still gonna be good. Like, you want to have, ideally, Prince and mediums in your hand, and then they're not, disrupting Unity. You can also block with Prince and mediums and underdeck them with Prince's ability. Um, I don't have Gates of Hell, so it's a little bit harder to get them back, but the Color Guard Unity is fairly important, I think, to stop some of the choose to blocker stuff that's going on. So Color Guard essentially protects trusted politicians, then trusted politicians protects all other evil cards in your territory, including evil cards that your opponent places in your territory, which is significant. So that is why in part why I wanted to do Persians, or like still keep some of the Persian stuff in here, because I think Trusted Politicians is a great card that we want to see more of that effect in the game in order to kind of tame some of these choose the blocker strategies that basically are just meant to not let you play your defense. And you're actually going to see that in this game. It will be coming out because I was thinking playing against Josh, like, okay, I'll try out a 100 card deck and see what happens. And I did actually kind of suspect that Josh might be doing the same thing. He's kind of been part of the 100 card deck discussions and kind of what should be done about it, and has a similar sentiment or feeling of, if I'm playing a 50 card deck and my opponent is playing 100, it just doesn't feel like I'm going to be able to do the things that I want to do as easily in most cases. So it's just, we're going to play 100 card decks until something changes, or somebody finds the best counter for it. So I don't know. We'll see. And Josh and I are going to talk a little bit about that toward the end of the game as well, so you can stick around for that, some of the post-game commentary. But Josh did build a 100 card deck for this game. Unfortunately, during his Lackey update, I guess he must not have saved the deck, and so it all got lost as he was updating Lackey or something like that. So he pulled Tim's 100 card Daniel deck, the one that is just kind of based around, or like Daniel Herods, where he's got Possessing Spirit, he's got the Conspiring Herodians, just trying to set up a kind of free choose the blocker rescue with Daniel, try to make it so that your opponent doesn't get to use their defense. And it's that deck is a little more refined than this one. I will definitely give that credit and point it out. So as far as 100 card decks go, I mean, you can use this as a general baseline for like, oh, okay, he's using that many characters or that many of this type and whatnot. But definitely look at what Tim's been cooking up as a reference as well, and see the kind of ratios that he uses and the cards that he doubles up on. He was been playing 100 card decks throughout all of last season pretty much, and so he's definitely a good reference for that. I also like playing 100 card decks, but only in Type 2. So that, and building for Type 2 is similar in some ways, but it is quite a bit different in some of the smaller nuances, I guess, and also the balancing. And like I don't think I would. It's been a while since I've built a Type 2 deck with 2 copies of the Deceiver. I think there's just certain things that even the adding consistency parts, like you don't necessarily need as much in Type 2. I think it's important, but there's other ways that you can uh, that you can build into your deck that you don't necessarily have to be super aggressive. And cards like Deceiver and Angel of the Winds, they kind of help you be more aggressive because you kind of need to in Type 1, if that makes sense. I don't know if that really flowed super well there, but Type 2 is different. I'm still kind of advocating partially for Type 1 being straight singleton because that would further distinguish it from Type 2 and kind of make it, I feel like, make the categories more distinct instead of now with 100 card decks, it's almost bleeding in a little bit to Type 2, where if you had, if it becomes like a 100 card deck meta, then it's like, well, why aren't we just playing Type 2? Like, if I understand some people don't like the restrictions of the good and evil balance in Type 2. Personally, I think that leads to more fun games and different deck building. But yeah, I don't know. There's conversations, debates to be had about those things that I'm not going to get into too much by myself here today. So anyway, that is the deck that I will be using today. And then, like I said, Josh will be using the 100 card Herod or Daniel Herod's Choose the Blocker deck that Tim has been working on, or at least it's one of the 100 card decks that he's been working on. I think he's been kind of switching around the defenses a little bit, and there's lots to be said about his stuff, so you can go check out his videos for all of that. But before we get into the game with Josh, go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors over at Your Turn Games. Let's make them a little bigger here. There we go. And Your Turn Games is the place to get all of your redemption card needs met, also supplies. So you can go here to get singles, you can go get booster packs, display boxes, pre-built decks, sleeves, deck boxes, all that jazz, everything you need to play a game of redemption and more. So head on over to Your Turn Games. They sponsor the channel, and I'm always happy to give them some love, to send you guys their way, because they're great to work with. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get into the game with Josh. Let's do it. Oh, no souls over here.
Nope.
This ought to be fun.
You are going first.
Cool. No stars on my end.
None for me either.
All right. Well, let's start off as all games should, with the 20 shekels.
Yep.
No bounce. See what you got. See why I'm going first here. Okay.
Yep.
Makes sense. Why couldn't you have drawn any lost souls, man?
100 card decks confirmed inconsistent.
All right. Well, I guess he's coming down. No straw, revolt, and all right.
Oh, yeah. Abandonment, Guardian, Stable,
Yeah.
Power of Prayer.
Yeah.
Or Power.
Well, it's kind of interesting, I guess. Let's do a good crowd's choice. Would have been nice if had, or didn't need to use that, but I mean, I guess I didn't really need to use it because I'm not going to be making an actual rescue attempt here, but.
That's good to hear.
Well, I mean, I guess I could. But, yeah, I don't think that's the plan, though. What do I
Domination?
want to do? I'm figuring out what I'm searching for here.
Oh, that's true. You are resolving an ability.
I guess we'll just keep my options open. We'll do Angel of the Winds. Then you can do what you need to do.
Boop.
Seems reasonable. Okay, so in that case, yeah, that's fine. Good to go to battle.
Yep.
Cool. Check with Angel of the Winds. And let's go for. I think we just do it this way. We'll do Matan. We'll try to get something done here. Others all. Hopper, Lawless. Let's go with. Yeah, let's just go with Hopper wherever that went. Man, decks are so annoying to search.
Yeah.
But I guess I should be used to that because I play Type 2 on here sometimes. So
That's true.
anyway, that is my rescue.
All right. My block.
Yep.
I will take a look at your reserve. I like it.
Thanks. Alright. Let's do. Is that worth it? So you got double no straw. Abandonment. No, that's fine. We'll just let him go. And then I will pass turn.
Okay. No upkeep. Boop. Well, pretty sure this deck has exactly one rescue. And it's that. Oh wait, you don't have any souls. Does this deck have anything to do?
I was gonna say,
Uh,
I don't know if it has any soul gen either, except for lost souls. I don't know.
no, I think I have. Yeah, some stuff I could. There's nothing I could have gotten to that would help. So yeah. I will go ahead and just battle challenge that. Yeah, get a Daniel out here.
I'm not sure how much it really matters, but I guess we'll go with Heyman, and we'll. Feel like maybe that was good. Mutual.
Yeah, I'll cycle this.
Alright.
I'll negate every legal target.
Cool. My initiative.
Yep.
We'll just hit Daniel and Herod, I guess.
Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, lost soul. Okay, well, no stars. Let's do probably that. Huh? You've got a stable now, so I guess Shekels will just bounce Haman. And I will go to battle if that's cool with you.
Yep.
Let's do Joshua and alright, let's see. I'm gonna go to deck or reserve is the question. Let's go to deck. Go to reserve later. We'll just get the tower. And that's my rescue.
I block.
Yep.
Or I guess actually, I don't have any character, right? Deceiver.
I forgot about your prayer over power last turn. I feel like my block probably wasn't worth it. Because that's just a straight draw 3.
Yeah, it was nice to have some cards.
But I guess you did miss the shield trigger off of Haman, so that was good. I forgot about that too.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about it. Sorry. Guard to that guy.
Sure. Another one.
Where is he? Okay, there. I have a guard in my deck. And now where did I put that Arcana? There we go. And now I will actually shoot something.
Now my reserve's protected.
Oh, that's right. I will not actually shoot something.
That's why I got the tower, man.
And then I will go ahead and activate Herods Temple.
Sure. That's not bad.
Oh, hey, I need those.
Alright, well, actually, might be prepared for this. Let's do toss for 3.
Okay. Go ahead.
And there's a 7.
Oh, yep.
Much rather would have been able to play those, but yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Alright, then I think I'll just pass.
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting card.
Hey, it's Crazy Eyes.
I'm certainly playing that. Evil New Testament card.
No, you're not going to reserve?
Oh, I guess I could. But no. I guess I could have got my Possessing Spirit back out of there. Actually, it probably wouldn't have been a bad idea.
Yeah, I suppose. Seems good. Gives you another minute of search time.
Yep.
That's it?
Yep. That's all.
Cool. Hey, that is kind of nice. No stars. I'll go make you a token. And I have to make sure not to search things. Probably. God. Your hand is still protected. That guy's biggish. Kind of feel like I should just do it. Yeah. I'll go to battle if that's cool with you.
Sure.
Let's just do Nehemiah and go for kind of doubt you're gonna have a lot for that. I guess we'll just do storehouse.
Okay.
And that's it for him.
You know what? Let's just Wait, what?
Yep. Hey, more souls.
Mm-hmm. Mine-ish.
Sure.
I will attempt to withdraw you.
That'll work. I am thinking I should probably put that guy down. And then I will pass the turn.
Hey. I guess I have stable trigger.
Oh, yes.
Looks like that's just this.
Go find your lost child.
I think we're playing that.
Cool.
Don't think I have a fort to get that I don't already have.
Probably not. Unless he's just running a random chamber in there or something.
And I'll go to battle.
Sure. Cool.
I will go ahead and play it. I'll just do 1 quintillion.
Do you want me to work on getting mine out, or do you want to look through?
I'll glance through and then
Sure. Here, I'll just pull them out, and then you can. I'll leave it open for you.
Some of these souls are not necessarily ones I expected to be in here.
I think normally he just does like 10 or something. Or sorry, I'm just gonna leave that open. So that like like Lawless and stuff would stick around.
That makes sense. Okay, so we've got a few fun things. Disoriented will hit the tower. My Galileans gonna throw him or him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that even what I want? Maybe not. No, for that.
Yep.
Open hand doesn't work. I think that's everything then.
Did you want to look through my deck quick or?
I'm good. I glanced through it.
Okay, cool. Alright, so I've got these 3. I think we'll just go and do exiles. We'll grab. Let's do that one. And then let's do Disoriented on Herod's Temple. And Remnant will. Do we even want your Herod? Is a question. If I just take it, then he can just choose his block.
I think you should.
No, we'll just go get a Malachi for my reserve. He's pretty cool. Alright. So that is all of that. And then I guess I'll just go ahead and give you some more tokens.
Sounds good.
2, 3, 4. Alright. Good to go to block.
Yep.
Let's do. Yeah, let's do Vashti. And draw 1. Ban 2 mediums. So yeah, my humble's on. So yeah, ban 2 mediums. And ban 2 prince. Draw 2. And you've only got 1 good brigade. It's kind of a bummer. Oh, that's right. Forgot that you had Guardian, so when you didn't actually miss your shield trigger on turn 1.
Yeah, I realized that too after the fact.
So yeah, I can't underdeck any Lost Souls. I don't feel like I need to underdeck Res Revealer, but maybe. Let's just do. I don't know what good enhancements he plays in there.
Neither do I.
I think I'll just underdeck Stable, and we'll roll the dice.
Okay.
On the good enhancements
well, here. I do have something to play with my initiative, if I may have it.
Go for it. What you got?
I have a withdraw.
Nice.
You have a negate.
That's interesting. Huh. I do not. Okay, so they're withdrawn.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And let's see. So I guess it's not a Daniel hero, so you can't banish it. Yeah, and I guess complacent is working, huh?
I guess so.
It's unfortunate. Cool. All right, we'll give you the prosperity. That's not how that was supposed to work.
I've learned my lesson already. You always shoot the hero with the
Yeah, I
medium
suppose.
prince.
Got greedy. All right. So we can do that and that. Okay, you do have a distressed, which is active. I probably should have looked more at your lost souls with disoriented instead of Herod's temple.
Yeah, maybe I should look at your souls too.
Okay, so let's just do. I think we go this way. You've got a doll too. Yeah. Alright, I guess I don't need to do that first. I'll do storehouse first here. See what we want to get. Let's just get a Torn Kingdom. And guess I don't really need to do that. Yeah, alright, let's just wander for doll. So I'll keep yours over here. And then I'll go to my prep phase. I guess I can look at your hand now, but I kind of like wasting disease, so we'll put that up. And then... Oh, actually, oh, right, I could have done that. Oh well. Put down Defender of the Saints. And you got that Guardian there. I don't like that too much. But... Alright, yeah. I guess I will put down a Meek Zerubbabel. And I will go to battle if that's cool with you.
Yes.
Alright, let's do...
Ooh, wait, hold on. Actually, Dominish, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Forgot I can't actually play these dominants during battle.
If you didn't have that Guardian, maybe I would have attacked his Zerubbabel and played a Keem into territory. Well, I guess he still have Distress, so maybe not.
Am I scared of a Jeremiah? I don't think so. Somebody's gotta die. I'm not sure. You played the Meek Zerubbabel, so I assume that means you plan to use it.
I mean,
But
maybe.
yeah, shoot the Zerubbabel.
Okay. He gone. Assume you weren't searching with it. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I guess that's technically first.
I guess with wasting disease, I will. Shuffle your Lost Souls. Let's just shuffle Herod's Guard. And
I might play another dominant.
go.
Yeah, go ahead and kill that defender also. I
This
don't really
is
want to find a Jeremiah while I have a complacent up.
this is rude. All right. Well, okay. I think that's fine. So good to go to battle still.
Yep.
All right. Here comes Joshua. When all else fails, go to Joshua. And let's do. Yeah, we'll just get the temple.
My mark.
Yep.
You can have the slave. Um,
Did Tim build a deck without Judean mediums in it?
what now?
Did Tim build a deck without Judean mediums in
Oh,
it?
he did actually.
Wow.
I think he was committed to the possessing spirit unity.
Sure, yeah.
I'm tempted to just outsiders all your fortresses, but you're probably not going to let that stand. I don't like if the numbers on this.
Yeah, I've
Well,
got
this could work. Let's do guard, print the next. Herod the Great. Pull this nerd in.
seems good.
Yeah, really
Uh,
neutral Yorinish, unfortunately.
too bad I can't exchange back. But I guess I will use the ability. I might as well, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Haven't run out of fortresses yet. All right. Yeah, it is managed to. That's kind of cool. We've got a humble over there. Yeah, I guess we'll just try to discard you.
I will revolt into a bunch of fun stuff.
All right, nothing.
I believe I just take all of them. Actually, not importantly, not Prince. Uh, yeah. Um, just snag these guys. Vashti, drawing two, I believe.
Yep.
The politicians doesn't really do anything. And then mediums, band of Prince. You've got three. I will hit guy in battle. Plus, yeah, that and that. Or sorry. Actually, not the storehouse. This guy needs to leave.
Okay.
I guess he's being distressed. He can still leave.
Alright, just in the bottom of deck. Bottom of deck. Bottom of deck. And that gets discarded, and I can't play any dominance, so that'll work. Or I guess they all
And
get
then
set aside.
technically everybody gets set aside.
Alright, cool.
Now,
wasting disease
when I
here.
begin a rescue attempt, do they come back before or after the rescuing hero's ability resolves?
That is a good question. Yeah, okay, so Gabe said timing wise, the hero must complete before the return from set aside is triggered. Okay. So let's do. Put down that guy. And. I'll just put them all down. I still got heroes. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. I get to imitate something. Let's imitate. Humble.
Go.
Yeah. Let's imitate humble. And I'm going to wander for the distressed.
Uh-huh.
And then play the second Res Revealer.
Boo.
I guess notably my dull still works for you.
Right, yep.
Unfortunately. I will capture your Malachi.
Okay. So let's see, I think that turns your Herod's Temple back on now that Disoriented is negated.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna. Oh wait, I can just do this. Yeah, that's right. Evil New Testament card from reserve.
Uh-huh.
Go up there. And then I'll go to battle.
Is there any reason to do that now? Sure, yeah, that's fine.
I'll choose it.
Yep.
But he comes home.
Yeah. That will work, unfortunately. You can have, I guess, Hunter.
Okay. Then I'll pass to you in.
Alright, now I'll go ahead and draw. Okay, so I've got Res Revealers online. It's annoying. Alright. I guess I should do this for Storehouse. Upkeep. Let's go get. Guess we'll get Joshua's sword. And then let's do. that over. We'll put that down. Which way do we go? Yeah, I guess I will go to, let's see, yeah, that's negated. Oh, maybe I should have done that. Yeah, I'll go to battle.
Okay.
Let's do Jaden, and we'll just snipe Sheol, I guess.
Yep. I will try to. Play a Herod from deck. And then I will find out how many silver enhancements you play.
Yeah, yep. I think I will just draw one.
Yep.
That's lame. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. And then let's do. That guy's negated. Put down a prince. And put down a Jehoshaphat. And I'll pass turn.
Okay. Imitate. Dull, I suppose.
Okay.
Put down the second Sheol.
Nice.
I'll go ahead and stonks your Jaden.
Cool.
And then I'll go to battle.
Yep.
Choose Prince.
Uh-huh. I will draw two. And can underdeck two. Let's underdeck. I don't think I'm beating Daniel, so yeah, we'll underdeck Prince and a Reservealer. Or wait, you protect. Oh yeah, only Daniel heroes, yeah.
Okay.
And you can have the slave.
Okay. I've got the other two.
Boo. Man, I'm gonna blame that Prince block. Yeah, that was those lost souls definitely.
I understand why the complacent is in there now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the weird thing is, like, I really didn't have any dominance anyway. Like, I had doubt in my hand the whole time, and I just drew, so I got a buckler there, which that would have
I in
been.
doubt definitely could be annoying. That would require me to actually play the game.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, I should have thought about the fact that Herod the Great would get to choose the silver dude. But it's like, I didn't want to put down more evil characters, but do I put down more heroes? Like, I don't know. And then I did have I was hoping to get an Amazing Faith to land a redemption, so that way I could get all my. I mean, not that I had too many dudes in my discard pile to get, but get my Defender of the Saints back mainly. But yeah, I don't know. Not. I mean, I think definitely that as a 100 card deck is the deck that you pulled is more refined. But I don't know if this one would even make sense as a 100 card deck. But I
Yeah.
was like, it's we've been talking about it, and I like PostEs, so we got to try it out. I think the Res Revealers, getting both of those definitely helped, and I did have a chance on my turn. If I had exchanged for your Distressed, I could have done Transgressors to get a deserving scorn out of reserve to hit him the turn that you didn't have another one. And I thought about it, but I was like, I can wait till later. But you had it the next turn, so
All right, next time I'll play my own 100 card deck.
we'll see if I decide to stick with it or just go back to you know doing doing things that are easier.
At this point, I know, like all of the strategies that I want to play at 50 cards are a lot harder to play. Like it's all resource denials, like resource based things,
Sure, yeah,
and those are really not viable against 100 card decks
yeah,
unless you just get like unless they just never get off the ground and you can just kind of squeeze them for the whole game. But that theory of beating 100 card decks does not has not seemed to hold out last year, and I don't expect it to this year.
right.
Uh,
It's kind of coin
so
flippy.
my current plan is make the best 100 card decks I can until either I find out via losing what beats them consistently or something changes.
Sure, yeah. What would your preference be?
I would prefer that something change. I I do like the idea as a Johnny player. I like that there's this unique deck building puzzle to solve of like, oh, I 100 card deck and I get two of things. Like it's a lot of new cool stuff. And like back in the day when it was like, oh, I can play like double negative lions with my Pride of Lions in Type One, and like
Yeah,
doing that kind of thing is fun. Uh, I do feel like we've gotten to a critical mass of a just good consistent cards,
yep,
and b dominants that are just really really good, even down to the 14th slot.
yep,
That uh, it seems that 100 card decks do have enough ways to make up for their consistency problems by just dumping a ridiculous amount of value on the table. I think even just harvest timing into 14 really good souls
yeah,
is really hard to beat.
yeah,
Uh, that alone, and that you can very easily guarantee. Like you can make a turn one harvest time more at 100 cards more likely than a turn one Matthew in 50 pretty easily. Uh,
huh. I suppose, yeah,
and then
between
you
one
get
with Child, Res Revealer, Victorious Being.
yeah, and then you also get things like double res revealer that's just really good
Right, yep,
in like every 100 card deck pretty much.
yep,
uh Double prince, double medium, there's a lot of really good double ups. So and you just have effectively infinite resources. Like any 50 card deck, it at the very least makes any 50 card deck that's based on like trying to play a resource game just not viable.
yeah,
So and there's a lot of logistical issues with it, like searching, shuffling, table management, etc., which are part of the game in Type Two,
right,
but kind of not what people are. Most people sitting down to play Type One are signing up for.
yeah,
Uh, so I think that, and I definitely like there being a variable cap on deck size, like 57 card decks absolutely should be a thing that you can do. And
Hmm.
then if you want to build like more resources into your deck, sure, go up to 64 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely on the straight singleton change as the solution, since it removes it simplifies things, which is a good direction, but it still lets you, if you want more dominance in souls, you can have more dominance in souls. You just also don't get the benefit of doubling up on things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm mostly in that camp as well. I think I want to do at least try it out a few times with a couple, a few different decks, just to not be kind of, speaking out of like a place of ignorance, I guess. But I've played against them enough times and I've seen enough games that I feel like that is better for the game overall. Uh, but yeah, it is cool to kind of have that. I don't know, the new style, I guess, that hasn't really been seen much because it really hasn't been viable until, well, probably hasn't been viable up until recently when Tim and Brian and a couple other guys kind
Yep.
of took it and ran. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I can still see like a 81 or even 100 or maybe I guess it'd be 99, right? That would be the kind of like optimal size. Even at singleton, like it still could be fairly consistent at doing some combo-y things, but
Yep.
yeah, there are a few combos though that I think would be fun to try, like doing a lost child found loop kind of thing. I know people have done that, but I feel like, especially with Daniel, it should be easier to do now. I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
Yeah, definitely fun stuff to explore.
yeah, maybe that'll be next week's deck. We'll see.
There you go.
But, all right, man. Well, thanks for the game and thanks for your thoughts. We'll
Yep.
catch
Thank
you
you.
later.
See you.